Don't treat me like a criminal, because I am innocent.
His reputation and dignity suffered as a result of two highly controversial legal cases against him. The first in 1994, and the second in 2003. In 1994, Jackson was accused of child sexual abuse by a 13-year-old child named Jordan Chandler and his father, Evan Chandler. The initial friendship between Jackson and Evan Chandler had broken down. The boy's father, a registered dentist, extracted a tooth from his son's mouth, and he was forced to admit that he had used the controversial sedative sodium amytal during the procedure. Experts state that the drug sodium amytal makes patients extremely susceptible to suggestions. Sometime afterwards, Evan Chandler was tape recorded saying, amongst other things, "If I go through with this, I'll win big time."
This man is going to be humiliated beyond belief. He will not believe what's going to happen to him. Beyond his worst nightmares. Sell one more record. I will get everything I want, and they will be destroyed forever. They will be destroyed.
An official investigation began with Jordan Chandler's mother adamant that there was no wrongdoing on Jackson's part. Neverland Ranch was searched. Multiple children and family members denied that he was a pedophile. Jackson agreed to a 25-minute humiliating strip search conducted at his own ranch.
His home is here. His ranch above Santa Barbara is a place he loves. He doesn't intend to desert the United States.
Jackson made an emotional public statement on the events.
I have been forced to submit to a dehumanizing and humiliating examination by the Santa Barbara County Sheriff Department and the Los Angeles Police Department earlier this week. They served a search warrant on me which allowed them to view and photograph my body, including my penis, my buttocks, my lower torso, thighs, and any other area that they wanted. They were supposedly looking for any discoloration, spotting, blotches, or other evidence of a skin color disorder called vitiligo, which I have previously spoken about. The warrant also directed me to cooperate in any examination of my body by their physician to determine the condition of my skin, including whether I have vitiligo or any other skin disorder. The warrant further stated that I had no right to refuse the examination or photographs, and if I failed to cooperate with them, they would introduce that refusal at any trial as an indication of my guilt. It was the most humiliating ordeal of my life, one that no person should ever have to suffer. And even after experiencing the indignity of this search, the parties involved were still not satisfied and wanted to take even more pictures. It was a nightmare, a horrifying nightmare. But if this is what I have to endure to prove my innocence, my complete innocence, so be it. I am particularly upset by the handling of this mass matter by the incredible, terrible mass media. At every opportunity, the media has dissected and manipulated these allegations to reach their own conclusions. I ask all of you to wait and hear the truth before you label or condemn me. Don't treat me like a criminal, because I am innocent.
Jackson began taking painkillers, Valium and Ativan, to help him cope with chronic pain, a consequence to an accident involving the collapse of stage rigging during the Dangerous tour, and for joint inflammation from lupus. He started taking Xanax for panic attacks and stress, stemming from the allegations made against him of child abuse. The stress of the allegations also caused Jackson to stop eating, and he lost a significant amount of weight. With his health in decline, Jackson's friends and legal advisors took over his defense and finances. They called upon him to settle the allegations out of court, believing that he could not endure a lengthy trial. The investigators looked at Michael Jackson's nude body to check for the descriptive markings. They had to conclude that Chandler's description was not a definitive match. Tabloid reactions to the allegations put Jackson in an unfavorable light, complaints about the coverage and media included everything from bias against Jackson, accepting stories of alleged criminal activity for money, to accepting confidential leaked material from the police investigation in return for money paid. On January 1st, 1994, Jackson settled with the Chandler family and their legal team out of court in a civil lawsuit for $22 million. After the settlement, Jordan Chandler refused to continue with police regarding criminal proceedings. Jackson was never charged, and the state closed its criminal investigation, citing lack of evidence. In 2003, Jackson was charged with 7 counts of child sexual abuse and 2 counts of administering an intoxicating agent in order to commit that felony. All charges involved the same person making the allegations.
My heroes, one of my legends, one of my role models, just hold your head, man, and my prayers go out.
I made only just one doll for Michael Jackson.
Michael, stay up. You know, we're behind you, and leave the boys alone. Stay away from them. Don't be close to them. We love you, though, and we're behind you.
With Michael, when you have 9 children in a 2-bedroom home, you're sharing beds. You know, you are sharing beds. Kids are going to bed, and that you have to have discipline. And Joe and Catherine were very smart to have discipline, because you cannot have chaos with that many people roaming around a little 2-bedroom house. So with Michael in sleeping arrangements, it was nothing. Plus, they shared hotel rooms. They shared beds in hotel rooms, and that's what people don't understand. With Michael, the bed wasn't about sex. It was about going to sleep or watching TV or having pillow fights.
So I don't think it's really about him. It's bigger than that. I believe it's really politics behind that.
We're saying, hey, Houston, thanking Michael Jackson for years and years of great music.
Jackson denied the sexual abuse allegations, saying that the sleepovers were in no way sexual in nature. The People versus Jackson trial began in Santa Maria, California in 2005, 2 years after Jackson was originally charged.
When people talk about Michael admitted that he shared his bed with children, what happened was, as someone that was in the courtroom, what happened was Michael would be in the bed, they would watch TV, they'd fall asleep. Once they fell asleep, Michael would make a cot on the floor with sleeping bags and a whole bunch of blankets, and he would leave the kids in his bed, and he'd go sleep on the floor.
Outside, there was a large crowd of supporters that waited for Jackson. Fans cheered, they wept, and they hugged each other as they were waiting for the trial to end. During this period, the singer suffered from stress-related illnesses and severe weight loss that would alter his appearance. The trial lasted 5 months until the end of May 2005. He was acquitted on all counts. His lead defense attorney, Thomas Misereau Jr., told reporters on his way out of the courtroom that justice was done. The superstar's long relationship with the African-American community was as controversial as his ever-changing skin color and the DNA of his children. He is one of our heroes, said rap artist and music impresario Sean Diddy Combs. As African-Americans, we are not going to let everybody beat him up. But many black Americans still feel ambivalent about Jackson's legacy of plastic surgery excesses, drug addiction, and superstardom. When Jackson was exonerated on molestation charges, many in the African-American community demonstrated forgiveness. On his blog, Earl Ofari Hutchinson suggested that Jackson's charitable side be his legacy. According to the Chronicle of Philanthropy, Michael Jackson supported dozens of charities, including USA for Africa, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation.